Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Julian, this is Libby, and together we make up BoxedMeeples. Well, Halloween is just around the corner. We're entering into the spookiest of all the spooky seasons. So today we are picking our favourite spooky board games.
Yep, and I have gone for the witchy theme. Last year on Halloween, we played Septima, and this whole game is set around those witches on All Hallows Eve. So it couldn't be better timing if it tried. And you are playing with this coven of witches. You've got a couple of witches that do some different things on your board. You might be able to recruit some different ones. You need to not raise too much suspicion with the villagers, because they will come at you with those pitchforks and they will take you to trial. And it gets tricky when that happens.
Yeah.
You got to save those witches from trial. And sometimes you can lose some, which makes life a bit difficult. It's you've got to really think things through. You're trying to traverse the different places to get different things for your potions together. Of course, you're avoiding the huntsman. You're climbing up some tracks, and you've just got to be a really great witch who stays under the radar.
And not suspicious
Not
witch.
suspicious, but really good at witchcraft. And it's just a fantastic game. The way things come together, the artwork on it really does evoke that whole kind of Salem-y, witchcrafty kind of, you feel like you're doing some dirty dealings with some cauldron with the old mother. If you go to see the old mother, now she'll raise your suspicion rates, because
Nothing more
she's
suspicious.
a known witch.
Nothing more suspicious than pretending not to be a witch and then visiting a witch.
And if you're hanging out with the witch that everyone knows is a witch, I mean, they saw you knock on that door.
Yeah, they know.
Pitchfork is out.
Witch.
So, yeah.
Burn the witch.
But I absolutely adored that game. It's fantastic. And I mean, I would love to play it again this Halloween, but our friend who owns the copy went and moved away
like a selfish witch that he is.
Yes, so we'll have to see what we can do about that to rectify that problem.
Well, my favourite spooky game is actually a whole series of games, and it's a solo series of games. It is, of course, Final Girl by Ryder Games. Now, if you've seen any horror films in the late 80s and the 90s that involve a girl fighting a baddie, you probably know what we're talking about in this game. There's all sorts of references in there, from Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger, you got Halloween films from the 70s that play into this, Alien,
Big Bad Wolf,
Evil Carnivals, even things like Silent Hill play into this lunatic asylum. And as you may know, I do love the Van Ryder games, particularly Hostage Negotiators, a big favourite game of mine, another solo game. This takes all the kind of groundwork of that and then builds it up. Introduces a board which you're going to traverse around as the final girl, and introduces kind of hostage-like people you need to save from the board, which increase your strength, and that unlocks your final girl's special skill. So during the big confrontation with the big baddie at the end, you actually have some ability to harm them. It is a slightly easier game to play than Hostage Negotiator, but that really does depend on the combination of big bad and board. And what's great about the whole series is they work together. So you have a increasing large number of combinations you can play as.
Basically DIY horror film.
Yeah. You can take a baddie from one, put it into a location from another, mix the two together, and you have all these different combinations. And don't think these are just kind of reskins each time. Each different board, each different baddie introduces new gameplay elements, so they all genuinely play very, very differently. So you might be in one just trying to avoid lots of zombies, or in another trying to hide from birds. They all play very, very differently. And around the corner, season 3, which is going to introduce things like Stranger Things. It's going to introduce some Scream-like things. Obviously, they're not called Stranger Things. They're not called Scream. They're not called Nightmare. But you know what they're based on. So if you ever play games alone and want to play something a little bit spooky, Final Girl is the game for you.
We're hoping at Essen to pick up the Christmassy one, so we can just continue spooky season all the way through.
It's that transition between Halloween and Christmas. You don't know what to do, and there's not many board games based on The Nightmare Before Christmas that will do that for us. But do let us know in the comments down below, what is your favourite spooky game? There's so many to pick from.
There really is. And of course, if you're not yet subscribed to us, please do click that button to subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We would love if you would join us on our board game content that we do 2 to 3 times a week, every single week, and it's always about board games.
And if you want to buy some board games, a good place to go is your spooky friendly local game store. And for us, in the southeast of the spookiest of England, that is the very spooky Chaos Cards. And if
their logo is a very spooky orange.
It is. The pumpkin of colours.
Exactly.
And if you are buying from online from Chaos Cards, there is of course a discount code always below in the description, so use that to save yourself some money off. There's no tricks here, unless you're spending less than £35, in which case it won't work. But as always, thank you so much for watching.
Bye. I was going to try and get treat in there somehow.